Fantome Island. Fantome Island is one of the islands in the Palm Island group. It is neighbored by Great Palm Island and is 65 km 40 mi northeast of Townsville, Queensland on the east coast of Australia. The island is small with an area of 7.8 km to 3.1 sq mi and is surrounded by a fringing reef. The Djabugay Aboriginal name for this island is Eumilli Island. The island is known for its 1928 lock hospital for sufferers of venereal disease and 1939 leprosarium, known as the Lazaret. Both are now heritage listed on the Queensland Heritage Register as Fantome Island Lock Hospital and Lazaret sites. The island is no longer inhabited. Along with 9 of the other islands within the Palm Islands group, it falls under the local government area of the Aboriginal Shire of Palm Island. History. Fantome was gazetted as an Aboriginal reserve in 1925. The Fantome Island Lock Hospital for the treatment of Aboriginal people suffering from venereal diseases was established on Fantome Island in 1928. The Franciscan Missionaries of Mary took over the running of the hospital in 1939. This institution closed in 1945. In 1940, a leprosarium was established on the island. Upon its closure in 1973, it was purged by fire. The island is the site of 200 graves. In 1926, a lock hospital was built on Fantome Island. Aboriginal people were sent there mainly for treatment of sexually transmitted diseases. In 1936, Fantome Island became a medical clearing station where people sent to Palm Island were examined and treated if necessary. A leprosarium was established on Fantome in 1939. After World War II, the hospital was closed, and by 1965 only the leprosarium remained on Fantome Island. It was administered by a Roman Catholic nursing order until 1973, when the inhabitants were moved to Palm Island. The administrators had complete and unaccountable control over the lives of residents. Punishments included the shaving of the girls' heads. In 1907, a leprosarium to house all Queensland patients suffering from leprosy was established on Peel Island in Moreton Bay near Brisbane. In 1940, the Indigenous patients were transferred from Peel Island to Fantome Island under police escort and in conditions of great secrecy. The numbers of people admitted to Peel Island fluctuated during the mid-1920s and rose to 47 new cases in 1928. Although no new cases were reported in 1929, the reason might have been the secrecy with which this whole issue was managed by the Queensland health authorities and the inability of the health regime to locate and track down this. This was not a simple problem, and it persisted well into the next decade. The head of the Australian Institute of Tropical Medicine, Dr. Raphael Silento, endeavoured to describe the problem in one of his reports. He wrote that when Currandamona Reserve started in 1914, the majority of the Aboriginal people brought there belonged to the Djabugay language group, a closely knit group. There were a few others from as far north as the Gulf region and some from Mossman, and a large number had been born in fringe camps and had grown up close to white settlement, knowing no other life. The first case of leprosy reported among Aboriginal people in the region was an old woman, Nellie, who died in 1916. She was avoided by other locals. She had no known descendants at the settlement. In 1932, Silento described his vision for Fantome. The whole local population should be worked through Fantome, and then regraded into new cases, incurable aged, incurable young, and part cured, and thence drafted when clean back into Palm, from which they can be sent out into the mainland to be 1 assimilated if white enough, 2 employed under supervision and protection, or 3 kept on Palm as minor officials. In June 1975, the 2 existing reserves became a single reserve for official purposes, under the control of the Aboriginal and Island Affairs Department. In 1986, this was rescinded, and Fantome Island was transferred to the Palm Island Community Council by a deed of grant and trust. Heritage listing. The sites of both institutions were listed on the Queensland Heritage Register on 8 June 2012. Geography. The island, one of the Palm Islands group, is about 65 km 40 mi northeast of Townsville, off the Queensland coast. Its area is about 7.8 km to 3.1 sq mi, and it is surrounded by a fringing reef. Governance and people. The island is under the administration of the Palm Island Aboriginal Shire Council. Along with 9 of the other islands within the Palm Islands group, it falls under the local government area of the Aboriginal Shire of Palm Island. It is as of 2020 uninhabited, but people from Great Palm Island make regular visits to Fantome to fish and perhaps camp occasionally. The Djabugay Aboriginal language name for this island is Eumilli Island. The Mandara language, also known as Walgurukaba, of the Mandara people, is a language of the region. Documentary film. A feature-length documentary film, Fantome Island, was released in 2011, made by Sean Gilligan and co-produced by Adrian Strong. It follows the story of former patient Joe Egmolis, a Kanaka Pacific Islander man who had spent 10 years there as a child and who returns to the island for a special Remembrance Day as a 73-year-old. The historical background of racist policies practiced by the Queensland government and certain individuals is narrated and shown. The film was shown in the 2011 Brisbane Film Festival and went on to win 2 awards, the 2012 John Oxley Memory Award by the State Library of Queensland and Best Australian Documentary at the 2012 Human Rights Arts and Film Festival. The film has also been shown on NIT and SBS On Demand. Graves at risk, at risk, at risk, at risk, at risk, at risk, risk. The 120 marked graves are as of 2020 endangered by tidal erosion, with the risk heightened by a combination of factors: their location, the soil structure, vegetation encroachment, and climate change.